Today's album redesign is Nightwish Oceanborn. This is my favorite album of Nightwish. It has the song Passion in the Opera as one of my favorites, and you can see the original album on the left. I think it looks great. I will say it is a little bit busy, and I did want to have a little bit of a clearer hierarchy of mine. Now, I found this amazing piece of photography online on, I think it was either Unsplash or maybe Pixabay or Pexels. I will try to leave something in the description below to give credit to whoever uploaded it. Thank you. Obviously, just an amazing image of this woman underwater. So, Oceanborn, is sticking with the idea of what was in the original piece, but just kind of giving it my own style, my own treatment. And you see here, this image is going to be the very core of what I'm working with, and I'm just going to sort of mess around with a lot of colors and textures and vibes here. This red, this really strong red that's on the bottom of her dress here, I really like that. The problem with it, though, is that it was so strong, it was drawing my eye down towards there as opposed to, anything seeing up there towards her face and where she's reaching the top of the water there. So I didn't end up sticking with that. You see now I'm putting up some light rays coming down here, just trying to transform this a bit, take it a little bit further, trying to make it a little more creatively interesting. And that was one of the primary challenges I had, because it's like, okay, there's this amazing piece of work here, but like, how do I transform it and to make it into a Nightwish cover? And if you don't know, Nightwish is a symphonic metal band, so it's female fronted, but it's very much heavy metal. So at one point I thought I was done, and I came back to it the next day when I went to start editing the footage, and I realized, it still feels too light, it still feels too soft, because this very much feels like it can be like a romance novel cover or something like that. So I needed to really just edge it out and continue on in that direction. So again, making an album cover, so it's got to fit the music, it's got to fit the brand. And just extending the image over, putting it right in the center so it's nice and clean. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. Just photoshopping that in. End up working a lot around the edges. There's a lot of just adjusting the color. I ended up cutting some of it out. It's just a lot of, okay, do I try this? I try that, and that's not working. Maybe I can go with this one, that one. And you see at the beginning of the video, I did have the Nightwish and Oceanborn text already in there, because I did have a previous idea that I developed partially and ended up abandoning it and came up with this idea, and ended up being a much stronger compositional piece and just a much better concept overall. So I ended up just cutting out those original attempts. But you see here, like I wanted to preserve that like darkness down below, and in the very end of the video I ended up really kicking up the darkness. It was one of the key things I needed to do to take the piece further. See things, trying some things out. I wanted to not cut all of that stuff out in the video. Like obviously I don't end up sticking with that, but just wanted to show like this is a part of the process. I by no means am just like I have a perfect idea and just go in and just do it all at once. But, it's not as linear as you might think. Like there I put in some color and I'm just messing around with it and just saying, okay, maybe if I make it all red, all blue, all green, but I really like that red effect there, but yeah, it wasn't, again, it's just not going to work for this album cover. Like all of those overlays of color ended up just flattening it out too much. So it's like, okay, where does your eye go? Because when you have all this light going, it's like it cleaned things up a bit, but maybe a little too much, so it just kind of flattened it all out. And I had a layer that was kind of graying everything out intentionally. So now here I'm painting out the parts of her skin so that to bring that color back in, and just leaving it grayscale around her, which helps to draw attention to your eye there, because like I said before, I was worried about I was getting too much of your attention at the bottom of her dress with all those really striking colors. So now I'm trying to bring it back up towards the top. Again, just turning things on and off, like Just testing it, like, do I like it this way, that way? Putting in some texture in there and fading it out, and just some nice noise. Trying to just alter the image. I work a lot with textures in my style. And putting this this record sleeve graphic over it, and ended up giving it a nice texture. I ended up, I fade most of it back, and I just leave a little bit of it around the edges, and just give it a little nice extra organic touch. Yeah, it's like, I think it's mostly there here. I like it a lot, but again, it's like, it could be like a romance novel cover. It's not heavy metal enough, so I needed to take it just a little bit further. You notice I put a little bit of outer glow on there, not a lot, just enough to soften it up just a little bit so it doesn't look too digital. Now this is where it really transformed. I put this texture on here and it got nice and super dark, and that really kind of gave it this like a creepier effect without being like dark creepy, not too much. Start messing around with these colors, and they like, should I really go this dark? Should I really go this like grungy? And I started messing around with some greens in a minute here, but I ended up scaling that back. Like once I got the darker theme in there, I felt like it was okay to bring the blue back in. Refining some of the edges of things that I just kind of did sloppily early on. Making sure I don't forget that. You see, there's a lot of texture on there right now. Just really wanted to take it further so it didn't look like I just, because it's supposed to be like a portfolio piece, or, some content, like demonstrate what I can do, have some fun with it, right? And I had this idea through the whole thing. Okay, right now, first I want to talk about that. I put a black and white adjustment layer on there, and then I put it on multiply, and then I scaled it back with the opacity a little bit, so it just kind of darkened her and the surrounding areas around here. You see here I'm putting a jellyfish in there, and I end up putting an eel in there too. That was an idea that I had throughout the piece, to like put some eels in there or something like that for some storytelling elements, and that ended up being the final piece that I needed to really take this further and make it feel more metal, not too clean, not too pretty, but just a nice balance between beauty and strength, and which symphonic metal is so good for. So yeah, I feel like this takes it a lot further, just those little bit of touches. Now it's an album cover. I think it turned out pretty well. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I have a lot of fun doing these. And that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.